Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and our friends across the street, we need to talk to them about maybe coming in and doing a live show or something from there.
Yeah, what else is coming up? Because we didn't do St. Patty's. I wonder if there's a launch for soccer, English football or something. We could help cross-promote or something.
Oh, for over there?
Yeah, for over there. They are very football-oriented, right?
I don't know.
I think they are. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I'm hitting the wrong one, that's why.
But they're nice. Premier meat pies.
Yeah.
Bless them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the real deal.
Well, welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast.
Extraordinaire.
Coming to you from the IAmRenton.com space in beautiful downtown Renton, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Yay! Hey guys, how's it going?
Geez, fine.
Happy Wednesday. We're throwing off Mike's stalkers today by doing this on a Wednesday.
Well, sorry guys, but I'm going with the local Ghostbusters group, Pacific Northwest Ghostbusters, to see the new movie tomorrow.
Right on, second time, right?
It will be my first time seeing this one, and then I will see it again on Friday because I got another ticket to the one here in Renton as well.
I thought you already went.
Nope, that's tomorrow.
Didn't I see you post that you got a popcorn tub?
I got the Ghost Trap, but I hadn't seen the movie yet.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, did they have it at the theater?
They had over at the Regal at the Landing. They're like $27 for one, and the ones they have at AMC hold more. It has like an additional plastic thing that holds more popcorn. I'm not getting any popcorn for it though.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy that one as well.
Keep your movie theater butter out of it.
Yeah. Geez, so that's just going to be something you say about.
Yeah, it's I'm going to.
It's a collectible.
It's a collectible, and I'll probably use it as a prop.
Nice.
Because is it shaped like the?
It is. Yeah. It actually it has a little button that.
Opens
the trap, and it has little lights that come on.
Jeez.
You open it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're delighted. That's a...
Hell yeah.
Huh.
Nice. No, it was really cool. When I got it, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah, what's your plan for tomorrow? You gotta...
I think they're meeting up at the mall at 6, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, are you gonna do any kind of dressing it up?
I'm gonna probably wear, like, I might wear this shirt, but I also might wear a different Ghostbuster shirt that I have. And I might go with one of my neutrino ones. I'll have it on my belt.
Yep.
And then,
and that's still their defensive weapon of choice, right?
I don't think it's a defensive weapon. It's like an electronic lasso.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's not really a weapon as much as it is. It's a way to catch the ghost.
Yeah.
But the other guys, however, are probably going to come in full gear. They're going to wear their flight suits and their proton packs, and they're going to have traps, and they're going to have everything else.
Nice.
That's going to be.
I don't want to have to also keep an eye on my stuff while I'm watching a movie.
Yeah. And movie chairs. Is it like an AMC?
It's going to be the AMC theater for tomorrow, and then on Friday I'm seeing it at the Regal here in Renton.
Okay. I was going to say, if you have all that gear on, trying to...
Yeah, you basically have to buy a separate ticket for your gear.
Yeah.
$20 a ticket for the IMAX theater, too.
Yeah, it'll be plush, though, dude. Oh, my God.
I've been in those seats, and they're not that plush. I mean, they're bigger. The problem... I haven't actually sat in that one since they've converted, I think, but... the last time I was at an AMC was over in Silverdale, and I got in a seat, and as soon as I sat in that seat, my hips hit the button for the recline, so it immediately threw me back.
Oh man!
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there trying to get back up, and I couldn't because every time I moved, it would go back, and so after that one, I legitimately it was like a Three's Company kind of thing, like the sitcom from the 70s.
You kind of got turtled, dude.
I had to roll out. I had to roll out of the seat, like climbing out of it. And when I got out, I realized that the button was on the inside of the hand rest, so that my butt was pushing the button every time I'd adjust my seat. And so ever since then, if I get a ticket at that theater anyway, I always made sure I got like specific seats that have the buttons on the other side, or at least know where the buttons are when I sit down before I accidentally like get myself stuck in a seat for 20 minutes.
Man,
what a way to go!
What a way to go!
It was straight out of a fucking 70s sitcom too. I was so
coming knock on our door.
I was so mad, and people around me were giggling like crazy. Because I mean, I would have laughed too if it wasn't me.
Well,
I totally would have been cackling like a madman if I saw somebody else doing it. But
man, well, if you get stuck tonight, Todd, or you feel unsafe,
what was the
anybody,
safe word when Todd needed it?
Safe word tonight in honor of it was such a beautiful weekend and it felt like spring. Tonight's safe word is bees. Bees are everywhere.
The bees.
The bees are back.
I know. Yeah, I was trying to leave all the dandelions.
Which do you think are more dangerous? The ones that scared us as kids, the killer bees from Africa, or the ones that they're like this big,
the murder hornets.
The murder hornet. A murder hornet are much, but they're not here in any vast numbers. But they could.
They could be.
Yeah, right. That's the trouble.
I think.
But no, I mean, yellow jackets will fucking ruin your day.
Big time.
It'll totally ruin your beautiful summer day. You're like, zippity-doo-doo.
So
you just hit them going home angry.
I legit had an encounter with a beehive when I was a kid, probably 7 or 8 years old. It was right around the time of Star Wars being a thing. But my neighbors had this massive yard, and in the back 40 was this old I don't know what you call them, the shell that goes over the back of a pickup truck.
Canopy type thing.
Canopy, there you go. And we were kind of hanging out there, and we're going to turn this into our little foyer, the little kid things to do. And as soon as I sat down in this what looked like a seat from an old truck or car, bees started coming out of everywhere.
Oh, man.
And like I got stung like 18 times. My friend got stuck like 20 times. There was a beehive inside that seat. And I was terrified of bees forever after that.
Because it hurt so bad. No, they've been chasing things since the dinosaur days.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They're like mine.
And they're good at it.
They're good at it. And everybody's like, ah.
What's really weird is what they say about bees is true. They definitely can tell you're nervous or you're scared because the more nervous you are, the more aggressive they are. So if you can stay calm, they're like, oh, yeah, you're here. Get out of our way.
Yeah. they that species and that whole set of species have really good like scent receptors, so they can pick up our aggressive musk or whatever. So, they smell shit and they get pissed.
When I first heard about that whole thing, it's like I didn't believe it. I thought it was bullshit. And it was one summer we were at my stepdad's parents' place down in Oregon, and they had like a dairy farm, and they had bees and all kinds of stuff. So actually, I think it was his mom that told me this, that if you're calm, the bees won't come after you. So I was like, I don't believe that, but I'll test it just to make sure that this is true or not. So I went down to where the beehive was. They had like 6 or 7 of those white boxes that they have
honeybees. Honeybees. Yeah, no, they unless something else is going to motivate them to do so. Yeah.
But they're not as aggressive as like hornets and stuff like that. But no, I walked right through there. They landed on me, and I stayed calm, and I didn't get any stings or anything. So I don't like bees still, but I don't freak out when I see them. I don't, oh my God, and start swabbing it.
Sure.
You raised bees for a little while, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. No, they're wonderful creatures. Yeah, honeybees. But I guess honeybees come later in the evolution than the carnivorous,
the killer,
the angry bees,
the hornets, and
they're all from the Bronx, just like not into it, Like, quit, do it.
Do they speak that mobster?
Are they from Hollis Avenue?
I wonder. I wonder. It's great.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of New York, I don't know how this pertains, but did you guys know, a little trivia for you, that stand-up comedians have a tendency to die earlier than dramatic actors.
Oh, geez.
So stand-up comedians and even comedic actors have a tendency to die before dramatic actors. Could be. They didn't have any findings for the reasons why, but stand-up's average death is 67.1. Comedic actors is 68.9, and regular dramatic actors' average age is 70.7. So there's not a huge disparity. But
there's at least a handful that I know of that ended their own life. Like Richard Jennings one.
Yeah.
Was it Greg Giraldo, I think is his name? The guy was super funny. He was in the roast.
Committed suicide?
Yeah.
No, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, geez,
and then the most recent one that everyone knows is Robin Williams.
Yeah, and then there was all the overdose deaths, right?
There's quite a few of those.
Yeah. And then Phil Hartman with his wife.
He got murdered.
That was a murder suicide.
Yeah.
How did Bernie Mac die? Do you have a heart attack or something? Yeah.
He was really funny.
That guy was funny.
Oh my God, he's hilarious.
Yeah, and I always consider stand-up comics to be depressed. I don't know that. That's an assumption on my part. They are. Because it's a tough gig, and you always got to stay fresh. But you got to. I mean, that's a tough gig. My hat is not.
All the comedians I know,
metaphorically off to you.
They put on a good face.
Yeah,
but get them alone, and they're I'm not doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fodder for a lot of their acts, right? Dealing with that shit.
And some of them, or most of them, I think, they treat comedy as a way of getting some therapy. So they're dealing with it by telling jokes about it.
Yeah, and it could be that laughter really is the best medicine. Maybe they would have died a lot sooner if they hadn't had that outlet.
Had an outlet, exactly. That they felt purpose in. And
Greg Giraldo, I think what happened with him is he, at least the stories I've heard anyway, was he was going through another divorce, and I think he also had like several irons in the fire, so to speak, and like a lot of them didn't go anywhere. So he just kind of like.
Oh, you mean like work stuff?
Stuff that was like, he was working on a sitcom, I think, and that went nowhere. And then he had a movie, and that went nowhere.
Yeah, that's too bad.
He had all these things going on, and just everything at the last second kind of like flipped on him. So
hit a brick wall kind of thing.
He felt like he was going nowhere, I think, and I have a friend who kind of hit that himself. So that's kind of why I believe that's what happened. Is he had a bunch of shit just kind of like, and he just had enough of the rejection. I think he says, "Fine, I'm done.
Man. Bye." Well, no laughing matter, folks. If you're feeling any kind of thoughts like that, talk to somebody. There's a lot of resources out there. Todd, what was that one resource?
I think it's 899. I think.
Yeah.
You just call or text it or Google it just to make sure I have the right numbers.
Yeah. Well, speaking of comedy boys in the news this weekend, it's really weird now because we've switched the show to doing Thursday, so the news cycle is way different. So if I have news that seems like it's really old, it's because I start finding on Thursday.
I actually, one of my friends, Shannon, says, "You guys changed your days, man. What the hell?" I was like, "Well, I mean, we're trying to give Charles some time in there to actually edit stuff together." And
that was all Mike.
That's for family.
That's all Mike. Not me.
And I told her, to be fair, I did suggest maybe switching the days. That way, we're not hurrying to get things posted. We don't have to hey, we got to get this stuff out. And it's only 7 days or 4 days difference.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it doesn't bother. It's just weird when we're doing the news.
Sure. But I mean, as always, the best we can do is try to spark an interest in our listener.
Yeah.
Right. So that they can go look into this kind of stuff. And that's eternal. If we were talking about Iran-Contra, hopefully it's old news in today's world.
Would be
but still, there's a reason to look it up.
Yeah.
There's a reason to
absolutely.
What I guess I was trying to say was like the news cycle isn't that quick that what we're saying is old news. It's still new. It's not like a couple days old. It's maybe 3 or 4 tops, but it's not that old.
Yeah. No worries. It's just different piecing stuff together. Not a big deal. People hang in there because these are it's all interesting stuff. Speaking of comedy, Trump it came out can't afford or can't figure out how to get a bond to handle the the $464 million fine that he's got to put up to appeal it.
And that kind of thing, it's like that type of wealth is a lot of borrowed and leveraged things, right?
Oh, yeah.
that type of leverage can be used against a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's a dangerous place for a person to be in if they work for the federal government and have their hands on secrets and the nuclear button.
President, especially. I mean, just...
You could apply, if you tried to apply for any of the alphabet organizations, right, and you had that much debt, period. Your family had that much debt.
They wouldn't take you.
No, there's no way you'd get that job.
No. Even like Jared Kushner, when he was trying to join Trump's not his cabinet, but his the White House staff, they threw out a red flag on him because of all the debt and the leverage and all that. Because who wants to have a president that owes somebody $464 million?
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, he owes one of the great states that make up these United States that money.
Yes,
right, because that was a state case.
Well, I just mean for the bond, right? Because he'd have to put up like
who wants to? Because I bet it has to be 20% or something.
It's got to be at least 20. I would think.
No,
so.
It's a tremendous amount of money,
and then it would be like
risk.
A pay. Right? He'd have to like pay 20 at the end.
Who would be asked to put that out unless they wanted something non-tangible in return.
Yeah.
But they would be able to look over those books, the same books that he was just charged with falsifying.
Well, everybody's saying, just hand over a piece of property, give him the pink slip to Mar-a-Lago, and everybody's like, he probably can't because it's probably leveraged somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
I wonder where all their money really does.
I don't know, man.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Lawyers are expensive, man.
Lawyers are expensive. Well, meanwhile, that Trump GoFundMe that we talked about, that was going to help him pay all of his legal bills, and they were trying to reach that $400+ million goal, has stalled out at $1.3 million.
1.3?
1.3.
Oh, well, there's something.
So, I mean, at least,
I think he's got a dedicated set of people who'll send him money no matter what.
Oh, sure.
It's been 9 years nonstop.
Yeah.
1.6, that's not even enough to cover
1.3.
That's not even enough to pay the taxes on what he owes.
No. It might pay his lawyers for a little
while.
For half an hour.
Yeah. But that money came from 24,000 MAGA donations.
Yeah.
24,000 rubes out there. Well, probably less.
For sure. No, I mean, think back to all the televangelists of the 80s, guys, and still of today. It's the same shit.
Jim Baker's still doing it, man. Sure. He's just not on TV anymore.
It's the same kind of thing, dude.
Yeah.
It's the same. And that's why I kind of think, well, no, let's move on. I don't want to.
Joel Osteen and all that.
Yeah, same
thing. What was the Crystal?
Free yourselves, everybody. Free yourselves.
The Crystal Cathedral. What was that old guy? Showed up on Channel 11. Was it Oral Roberts?
I don't know.
His son's now taking over.
It's madness. It's madness, and we got to shake it, people. Free yourselves. Free yourselves.
Well, in final, and I promise not to go on too much about Trump and his woes, but on Monday, so a while ago, not this past Monday, but the Monday before, but he lost a bid to block testimony because he was trying to block Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal from testifying at the New York criminal trial that Alvin Bragg has brought, the DA Alvin Bragg has brought in the payoff to Stormy Daniels, $130,000 payoff that he said was business expenses or related to his election.
Is this as an election interference thing? What's the?
It's just a fraud.
Is it? Okay.
Because he placed it as business expense
instead of a hush money expense.
Well,
he's giving them to business.
Not necessarily illegal, but they filed it as a business expense and not as.
I guess it's always the cover up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always the cover up.
Yeah, paid porn star.
Yeah, but
and why are they always porn stars? Can't they just be actors? You know what I mean? Is everyone a star?
Everybody's a star.
Okay,
just the ones you know the names of. Those are the porn stars. The other ones are just nameless people who do fluffing and whatnot.
Man, I did not know Stormy Daniels' name until
all this came out
with Trump and stuff. But yeah, he tried to get them from even testifying, said their testimony is worthless. And it's like, well, no, you're the one that paid these two people off, Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. And you had Michael Cohen, your attorney at the time, exchange the check. So yes, there are very relevant to the testimony.
So. Yeah, but that's his lawyer's job.
No, I did
because that also drags it out and out and out and out and out. And it's like, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what the angle is, because I don't think he wants to win. I think half of him wants to win to try to pardon himself of federal crimes. Okay, and there's potentially a lot of cash to be made at it, but guess where there's more money to be made? Just to run all the time.
Well, what is he, 70?
Yeah, but now he's got his kid into it, right? Laura Trump is now in the RNC. It's like so much money.
Right.
So much money.
Nothing on that, but I mean, he's not going to live to,
No, he'll get his family in there, though, or at least the brand. But I don't think he can see past his own life too well. But
that's true.
I think he's I don't know. He knows he can't take it with him.
I think he's going to play, if he loses the election, he's suddenly going to be senile.
Right? Oh, 100%. If he faces real criminal charges, yes, 100%.
He's going to have dementia.
100%. But other than that, I think he's just going to have an organization that runs, because he's not going to be a televangelist, so he's going to be a perpetual politician.
Yeah, he has to be.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same kind of thing. You have a bad person over here, either Satan or Democrats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's interchangeable. Yeah. And then over there, you have the us. Right?
Yeah. Well, geez, speaking of bad behavior, have you guys seen all the stuff that's happened? And it's been happening for a few years, but all the stuff with Nickelodeon and the new documentary that just came out? I
heard about it. I haven't actually started watching it, but I remember hearing stories years ago about the guy who was in charge of these sitcoms that blew up on Nickelodeon back in the 90s.
Yeah, Dan Schneider, who played on that Howard Hessman teacher show, Head of the Class.
Yeah.
He was one of the kids. He was the portly kid.
He was the fat comedy guy,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
I don't remember.
He went on to start writing and producing, and he came up with a bunch of shows, and they were massive hits. And
he did all that in iCarly and
Amanda Show, Drake and Josh.
Drake?
Drake Bell.
Drake Bell.
Josh
not
Peck.
Drake the singer.
Yeah. So there's a documentary out right now. It's called Quiet on Set, which is a really clever thing. And it just talks about that era of Nickelodeon. And they interviewed all these former cast members and production people about the experiences on there. And some of the stuff is that Dan Schneider allegedly was just an ass on set, right? Yeah. He was just a demanding and controlling ass, but that he paid way too much careful attention to Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes, she's been going through a lot of mental health stuff the past few years.
Like a child actor.
But a child actor. Brilliant young actor back in the day. She had that variety show, kind of the kids version of Carol Burnett, stuff like that.
The Amanda Show. And it's actually called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids Television, or Kids TV.
Yeah. So a lot of allegations against him. A lot of people saying, hey, these kids, they didn't get the protections that they deserved. And we're talking about big name people now,
they weren't then,
like Ariana Grande.
She was one of them. Yeah,
Jenna McCurdy, who wrote a book.
I actually just got that
about
book.
The same subject. She wrote a book, or she just is an author.
She wrote about her experiences, and a lot of it had to do with her mother. Was her business manager?
She had a mom who was very much in control of her career and forced her to do a bunch of stuff that she didn't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
She was one of those, not a helicopter parent, but the Hollywood parents, like Will Wheaton's parents. Have you ever heard his story? That's very much the same story. His dad was
forcing him to be a star.
And his mom would guilt trip him into doing stuff.
Jeez, bummer.
And so, and McCurdy, she actually was asked to come back to the revival of iCarly, and she said, no, I have no interest in acting ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like felonious shit, or just shitty conditions, or
not
but not
Dan
like molestation
Schneider,
or anything
but,
like that.
Stuff like people would see Dan Schneider sitting with, this going over the script, and Amanda Bynes would be giving him a shoulder rub behind him at 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird, right? Not Josh Peck, Drake Bell, one of the actors, and he's had somewhat of a music career afterwards, and he's done a bunch of movies and stuff when he was younger. He has claimed that while he was working on all these shows and going out to auditions, there's a dialogue coach that he befriended that ended up taking sexual advantage of him because he would go stay at this guy's house because the next day they would have an audition or they were working on some dialogue or something, and this guy like forced himself on him, and he didn't know how to get out of it. He didn't know who to talk to. Like a lot of kids, they're not sure. Like, is this the way it's supposed to be? It screams of like Corey Haim's experience.
Yeah. It's a lot of the same stuff happening to them too. Yeah, and it's when you have the was narcissistic parents, and then you also have like you're making a lot of money as a kid. And I think the same thing happened to a kid from Different Strokes, Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman, yeah.
His folks like took advantage of his income and like spent it before he turned 18.
Yeah,
where he had access to it.
And in fact, I just for some reason clicked on an article about Honey Boo Boo. I don't know if you remember that show with Mama June and everything.
I read about it in Mad Magazine.
So there's this argument because she wants to go to college. The girl, I don't know her real name, but Honey Boo Boo, I guess, was her thing, and I'll just call her that. She wants to go to college, and she wants to access some of her funds, and her mother, who's sort of been living off of her and living off that fame from that, it was a dance show or something for Toddlers and Tiaras.
Toddlers and Tiaras and Dance Moms or something
Dance
like
Moms, something stupid like that. Yeah. But that lady's been living off of her daughter's, work for years.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you can't touch the money until you're 21 or 24, something like that. But the truth is she could get to it when she's 18.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I guess California does have a thing where they say you have to put either 10 or 20% of a child's income from acting into a trust that they can't touch.
That's nice.
The Coogan Trust.
The Coogan Trust. Yes, exactly.
Right on, named after the child actor Stephen Coogan.
I don't remember, but he was one of the original Our Gang kids too. I think. But
there must have been Wallace.
Jackie Coogan.
Jackie Coogan.
You know, the one who played Uncle Fester.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did he really?
I mean, it's just sucky,
you're right.
Sucky situation for these young kids that are just like, they're making their faces, their talents are making all this money for executives, but then also being preyed upon not only at the studio, but as their own parents are sort of preying upon.
Yeah, they have nowhere to turn.
They don't have anywhere to turn.
That's a shitty place for any human, let alone a child.
Yeah.
Right?
I say this as my daughter's really interested in getting into acting in front of cameras, like TV commercials and stuff like that. So we're signing up for some classes and doing that kind of thing. And I'm just going to be that hardcore.
Yeah.
You need to cry on set. I'll give you something to cry about.
I have a friend who actually has been in like local commercials. He did a commercial once for I think it was Microsoft, and then he also, or Amazon rather. No, it was Amazon. And then the most recent one was one of the local drugstores, and he was, I don't remember exactly what he did, but he was in both these commercials, and they're regional, and they were played all the time in between TV shows and stuff on TV and on the internet too, for that matter. I can
was he the Red Robin guy from Ricky Stenicki?
Oh my gosh, so good. And he's just a hot shot because he's been in that Red Robin, and it's so good.
The kid was actually in a local commercial about 4 years ago. She did a Shag commercial. I don't know if you know. Remember the old Shag, the Stewart, Tell 'em Stewart sent you? They switched from Stewart. I think Stewart passed away, but they switched.
Stewart, Black Angus?
From
Stewart?
Black Angus, yeah.
That's great.
So
Stewart
they got Lou Piniella, the former manager of the Mariners, when they were good way back in the day, to come in and be the spokesperson. So she had a bit part in one of the commercials where she was teaching Lou Piniella how to do the floss dance.
Oh, geez, right on.
So she's in there for I don't know.
She shares screen time with Lou Piniella with the lead.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's a big deal.
On a green screen. But the cool thing was she was there with the entire, because it was a production. So they had catering, they had makeup people, they had costumers, they had talent was there. So it was awesome to see her at friggin' 10 years old, right? Being able to be there and not freak out or nothing like that. This was really fun.
It was a Bartell's commercial. Here's a screenshot. out of it. He's chasing after, I think it's a deer.
Get that deer.
Or no, maybe it's a goat. Either way, he's always working with animals in these commercials. I think the one for Amazon, he was holding a cat. He was like a old cat guy, and he's like, I can't. But yeah,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Hi, Silas. I don't know if you're listening, but yeah, we're talking about you.
Nice. So yeah, I worry about that stuff, and I look at the wife, and I'm like, I don't care what the offer is, and she's not going anywhere without me.
Yeah.
And my baseball bat.
And an army of lawyers.
Exactly. Oh, my God. Well, here's an interesting story. Are you guys, anybody here diabetic?
Yeah.
Do you do insulin and all that?
No.
You don't have to do that yet?
I'm type 2, so no.
Don't need it. Getting insulin to the millions of type 1 diabetics around the world is a very difficult thing, and it's really hard to produce that much insulin and get it.
And it doesn't have a shelf life, right?
And it doesn't really have a shelf life. So the scientists from the University of Illinois and the Universidad de San Paulo down in Brazil have found a way to introduce the human gene that creates insulin into a cow. And this cow, when it produces milk, produces human insulin in the milk. So
man pig dog. Man bear pig.
Man bear pig. I'm totally cereal right now.
So it's a gene edited cow that produces the human insulin in its milk. The only issue, though, is you need to. So if this is going to become a thing that they're able to do, they have to set up, a clean lab to extract the insulin out of the milk, and then set up the delivery system and all that stuff to make it happen. But
milk out of it,
they could just make. I think
no
they
idea.
actually have to separate the insulin from it.
Fuck if I know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a fascinating thought, though.
And who's the guy who said, "I goes, you know what?"
I mean, they could have picked any animal, right?
I don't know. Well, humans have shown a decent ability to drink, bovine milk.
I don't know if you can drink it, because the way I read it is they have to separate the insulin.
Oh, yeah.
From
Then I guess
the
they could have made it out of rats. It's a rat milk,
right? Yeah, but it'd be like trying to milk a rat.
I think
might be a little hard.
Probably milk rats the same way they milk almonds. They just squeeze.
Oh, that's mean. Because then you go to all that trouble. But cows have a long life, don't they? Fairly?
I have no for a dairy cow. Yeah, bitch. Well, I was more than 10 years for sure.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because they don't make hamburger out of dairy cows. They do that out of actual bulls.
I think somebody does, but not on the average.
Not on the average. Yeah. I don't know. They could have done that out of llamas. Hell, they could have done like monkey milk or something.
Monkey milk.
You got to chase the little monkey around to get the milk.
You got to chase it and spank the monkey to get it out.
Yikes.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
And how many genes do you have to change to?
I don't know.
To change that one aspect of creatures
and
mammals.
How much does it cost to go in and? Because I don't know how they produce human insulin now. Is just sort of crazy. Is it a synthetic?
100% synthetic? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't
know. I'll look that up. I'm going to make myself a note.
I'm wondering how many of the conspiracy guys are going to be like, it's going to edit our DNA if you use that. Don't use that because it's going to make us not human anymore.
Well,
don't worry about it. You guys can come milk me and get your insulin.
Yeah, because of science.
Yeah, we don't have a cow. We have a bull.
So good.
Oh, my God.
Insulin. Question mark. I'm going to look up insulin and just get a base knowledge of it. Because, tens of millions of Americans, let alone hundreds of millions worldwide, are very,
if you could set up a processing area with a herd of cows in the poorest of places, imagine whatever poor, I don't want to say, but wherever, right? And you can milk the cows and then put it in the machines to separate out the insulin, and you've got a good supply that you can get out to the people that need it.
So maybe they can figure out, so like teat 1 is milk and then teat 2 is insulin.
That's some good gene editing right there.
Yeah. And only on Thursday.
And you have to come and suckle it from the cow.
The suckles, yeah.
Oh my God.
The regurgitate.
It's got to be fresh and warm.
Fuck beats me, dude. But I mean, there's all sorts of proteins, fats, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're isolating out of that? I don't know. But I'm going to find out, people. I will.
And maybe that's why coming out of milk is great, because all those proteins and enzymes.
Maybe,
and
but then
stuff,
I don't know, because maybe some of those are stable or can be made to be shelf stable, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part, is bringing it to different places where it doesn't have, refrigerated or, some other energy, something that takes energy the whole trip. And
I can also just see all the vegan people out there, all the plant-based people, and I can't get this insulin because it's coming from a cow.
I bet whatever it's made out of now is either an animal or an oil. Again, I can't believe that it's not an animal sourced thing. Yeah. We're squeezing like horseshoe crabs for some blue ooze. It's the mother's milk of fucking Dune and shit. What the fuck? Oh man,
there's those little glowy worms from Damsel.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Squeezing those. Yeah. And speaking of which, in our art take this week, folks, if you go to the bonus round, we're talking about Damsel starring
Netflix.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, jeez.
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like, oh, this is amazing, I want to see more.
Yeah, we are Gen X dudes in Renton, though. So, But I didn't get mad about it, right? I wasn't like turning it off immediately, mad at myself for spending 80 minutes,
Yeah, this is just a taste. You have to join our Patreon to get the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
Do it now.
Yes.
All right, from insulin to sugary sweet pop music. I don't know if it's sugary sweet, but Bruno Mars. You guys Bruno Mars fans? I think he's a talented dude.
I don't know a whole lot about him, but he seems to be an overachiever.
I mean, I like his music,
but lots of people do.
Yeah, weird story came out that he likes to gamble. He's got a residency in Las Vegas right now where he's getting like $90 million a year to play the MGM Grand.
That's not a terrible
I don't know how many times. Somebody estimated it was like $1.2 or $1.5 million per performance. So if you do the math, that's like what, 45 or so performances per year. But the rumor is that he's racked up $50 million in gambling debt.
Ooh,
$50 million.
Jeez, well, he needs to talk to somebody about that.
If he has $90 million coming in every year, then he still has 40, right?
He just extended for 12 more shows this year, and the thought process is that, he owes a lot of money to the MGM. He's got to stay for a little while longer.
I mean, he's free to do with his money what he wants.
Absolutely.
But
it's going to be like that one episode of the Outer Limits. Wasn't there an episode of Outer Limits where a guy was basically like indentured into a casino to make them money?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
I
might be thinking of a different show, but I could have sworn it was Outer Limits.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's a thing. People do definitely can develop
break your knees
trouble with it. Oh yeah. But even then, because they know he's good for it. Right?
Well,
that guy can always sell.
I mean, he needs a business manager to come in and
something,
say, okay, you can have $30 million.
Yeah.
But it's his life.
What's he got to do? Give it to charity or something?
His life, but damn,
it's his life. Yeah,
$50 million to pay to a casino. And that's just what he owes right now. Who knows what he's?
Geez, maybe he's doing $65 million in prime rib out of that joint. It's just expensive.
That's all comped.
I'll take 300 more prime ribs tonight.
Maybe
it's like the Big Mac guy we did a story on. But he's just like chewing on like Luffy from One Piece.
Maybe he's just like following Elvis's career plan was maybe he's going to end up dying on a toilet eating a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
I would die on a toilet with prime rib.
Man,
I'd be smiling ear to ear. It'd be fantastic. What a way to go! Oh man, sorry.
Well, speaking of music, do you guys like Mark Knopfler? Dire Straits and stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a new song out. Yes, I think underrated because he doesn't get mentioned enough.
Yeah.
I know if you go to like the Rolling Stones Greatest Guitarist, he'll show up in the top 20. But
that's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but nobody when people start talking about him, nobody.
I honestly didn't know he was still alive. live.
Oh yeah, he's got a new album coming out soon, but he just did a song for Roger Daltrey's charity that Roger Daltrey started, the Teen Cancer Trust.
Jeez.
But he tapped 54 different guitarists to come and play on this one track. So they all come in.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting.
In person, or did they just send it in?
They probably sent it in.
Yeah, which I think is a wonderful technology, because you can totally do that.
Very cool. I mean, just some of the names is like Joan Armatrading, Jeff Beck, Joe Bonamassa, Eric Clapton, Ry Cooder, Daltrey, of course, Peter Frampton, Vince Gill, David Gilmour, Buddy Guy, Tony Iommi, Joan Jett.
What?
Alex Lifeson, Steve Lukather, Robbie McIntosh from, I know he played with the Pretenders for a while. I can't remember what else he was in. Tom Morello, Rick Nielsen, Brad Paisley, Nile Rodgers, Mike Rutherford from Genesis, Joe Satriani / Bruce Springsteen, Andy Taylor, Duran Duran, Susan Tedeschi, and Derek Trucks, Pete Townsend, of course.
They're the same person. Not many people
they really are.
Rick Nielsen, he's the guitarist from Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick,
and a fine guitar.
I was trying to think of who that was.
Friggin' Steve Vai, Joe Walsh, Ronnie Wood, and then for his rhythm section, he got Sting to play bass, and he got father and son, Ringo and Zach, to play drums, which is crazy. If you haven't checked it out, the song is called Going Home. I tried to pick it up on vinyl, but by the time I got there, it was sold out. But it's a pretty good song, and it's interesting. And I just sit there. I've listened to it a few times. I'm trying to pick out, different parts and hear different chords and stuff. That sounds like Clapton, or that sounds
that's really hard. That's a lot of human beings.
That's a lot of.
That's
human
that's a lot of.
I just the thing that comes to mind when I think of hearing all those names playing on one song, it's the, I don't remember where it was from, but there was a live performance of Spinal Tap, and they had 20 different people playing bass.
Oh my God, so good.
On Big Bottom, and one of those people was Paul Allen.
Oh, jeez. Talk about mud flaps, my girl's got 'em.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I heard those guys were getting back to do another movie.
That's the word on the street. Yeah.
Another Spinal Tap movie.
That's awesome. Spinal Tap at 70 or something.
For something like this, with all these stars, if you're doing it for a charity, which he is, those are all separate tracks. Do a song with one of those stars.
Yeah.
You could, and whoever bids the most, you could get the Bruce Springsteen one. Whoever bids the most could get the da-da-da one.
Yeah,
it's like Sub Pop with the colored vinyl.
Yeah.
Because these are all separate tracks. So you could piece that together any which way you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an interesting concept, though.
It is. Yeah, I remember We Are the World. I was singing that the other day. And what's the one? Do they even know it's Christmas in Africa?
Oh, my God. That's so bad.
That?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
That was late 80s, too.
I actually like that song.
What group was that, though? It was like We Are the World, but it wasn't We Are the World.
It was like the Brit invasion stuff.
It was
the new wave
it was like
Brit
the guys
stuff.
from Wham, and then a bunch
Duran
of
Duran and stuff like that. Yeah.
USAID or something, maybe?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, I sold that vinyl because I had a couple of copies of it in my little record shop. I think I sold both of them over this past holiday season. So,
oh man,
yeah. But We Are the World. Yeah, that's isn't that some anniversary right now? Isn't that like the?
Is that the Bob Geldof thing? Or
that's the Bob
Geldof
one. Yeah. Oh my God.
I think a few years back, one of John Lennon's kids did a re-recording or did a new version of Imagine even. I think it was Sean that did it.
Was that during the pandemic when all the stars were on there?
I think it was actually.
It?
I think, or right before.
And everybody was like,
money.
Okay, you're getting everything you could ever want delivered, living in your mansion with a pool.
Yeah. How's your supply?
Life's not so hard for you. You can get toilet paper.
Yeah, remember all that fucking weird hoarding?
Oh my God!
Shit.
That's why I think it's funny when people say, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" And that's why the Republicans are trying hard not to do that.
Yeah, because I know Americans have terribly short memories.
Yes,
terribly short memories.
Yeah.
You mean when we were stacking bodies into refrigerator trucks because the morgues were overfilled with
and
COVID
people
deaths?
Forget how thin the hospital line is, man. The number of like emergency ICU beds in Seattle is like 50.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
For you know what I mean? it's like, people forget how close we came to like something really bad. Actually, I don't know. It's interesting, but we have found that digging ourselves into deep camps and shit is a better policy than talking to each other, evidently. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, speaking of Peter Frampton, the inventor of his
the talk box. Yeah, and I just heard that.
Bob Hale has passed away at 83. He was also considered the godfather of modern rock touring because he set up like the sound system for the Grateful Dead when they started touring, and they even took him on tour with them. So he set up the board and the amplifiers and the speaker system so they could tour. And a lot of rock bands emulated what he did. And I don't know exactly what everything goes into it, but just having the boards and the speakers
and the setup and breakdown,
and breakdown, all that stuff. So rock bands still use his methods today.
Jeez, that's neat.
My goodness, Bob Hale.
Yeah, and the the talk box thing. I've never wanted one, but it's a unique.
It is a unique thing.
I mean, immediately that Frampton's coming alive.
Yeah, I guess he built it, and Joe Walsh started playing around with it, and Frampton saw Walsh with it and said, "Oh, I want that," and so he built one for him. And it's actually like has a little case and everything. It's like a manufactured product. It wasn't just like a strung together, pieces of wood and
some weird tube. Because it's kind of like a kazoo. You know what I mean?
I think so, because it fits in your mouth.
Or something.
Well, the machine itself is on the floor next to your pedal.
Right.
And the hose comes up and is like right next to your microphone. You put it in your mouth, and it's feeding the sound through the tube, and then the microphone picks up what's coming through the tube.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if there's a spit valve.
Gross.
Do you?
Oh, it's so big.
Feel like
my God.
I don't know how. I mean, millions and millions and millions of copies.
There was a joke about Frampton Comes Alive on, I think, was it Wayne's World? It was if you lived in the suburbs, it was issued to you.
His job, you walk into Tower Records and they just hand it to you.
What part of town do you live in? I live in such and such. Like, oh yeah, you're in the suburbs. Here you go.
Here you go.
Oh, man.
That's nice.
My brothers, I think, had that album, but I don't think it was ever played very much in the house.
Yeah. No, and the cover's iconic. And
we wore that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not awful, but it's that. It's
we wore
exactly
that out.
that.
We wore out Back in Black. We wore out.
I can't count the number of times I've owned Back in Black.
Oh my God,
that
so many versions.
Solid.
Yeah.
I mean, that album and probably the Metallica self-titled album, the Black Album, is also another one that I've had like 17 times.
I remember my buddy Matt Simpson, and Matt, if you're watching, I think you do. He got back from in the Marines. He went to Okinawa for a year after basic training, before Desert Storm, because he went over to Desert Storm back in the early 90s. But he came back, and we were all sitting around drinking beer and shooting pool and all that stuff. And I think I threw on Back in Black album, and he's like, "Oh no, because military bases just." Constant, right? You're all these guys just rocking it because that's what it's like. Skinner and AC/DC is just the go-to classic rock. And he's like, I've heard this album like 6,000 times in the last 2 years.
It's like all the radio stations that play Nirvana here in Seattle.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's like
typically the same like 3 songs,
right? Yeah. And that's the shame of it, right?
It is.
Yeah, such a bigger catalog.
To be honest, because it was played so much on on MTV and on local Seattle radio stations, like I couldn't get away from it. I was like, initially I was like, this is all right, this is cool, but then it was played so much, I actively hated that band for years.
Yeah. What's that?
Nirvana.
Oh.
I absolutely could not stand their music, and the only album of theirs that I actually enjoyed, I found out like 5 years after the fact that it was it was all covers except for maybe 3 songs, and the rest of it was
the unplugged
album. Yeah. I thought it was great. And I was like, this is not them. This is David Bowie. Oh, who is this one? Oh, that one's a great song too. I don't know who that is, but it's not them. It's somebody else's song.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I'm not a huge Nirvana fan. I don't disparage, and I'm not saying you are, Kurt Cobain's talent to write a song. He's
that guy
really good songwriter. But I mean, like Todd's saying, it was kind of...
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Would you compare Kurt Cobain to John Lennon?
It's hard to, because in my opinion, the Beatles were...
career.
Yeah, and the Beatles were more of a pop band to me than post-punk.
And I don't think John Lennon's solo stuff, besides, I guess, Imagine or whatever, is as memorable as the Beatles stuff. Right? The Beatles stuff put more boundaries at the time.
As far as his writing and his skill level, as far as him playing guitar and stuff, would you compare the two of them like that? They're equal, or one is better than the other?
Well, I think if you look at it from a success level, then obviously the Beatles have had so much success because they had such a long career, and Lennon had such a long career. But it's hard because art is relative.
It's all about perspective.
It's all about, because I think AC/DC are talented guys, and I like their music. For me, they're a little one-hit pony, right? Or they're a little one horse pony, but it's still good, right? Yeah. They keep putting out the same album year after year.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. I don't think there is. It's really hard to say. You can say what you don't think is good, but it's hard to say what is better than good. Yeah. I think.
I heard Angus once say that we write for 15-year-old boys.
Yeah,
and and because that's where when he started the band, he was 15. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Again, great success and all that stuff. Would I think he's a better songwriter? Who was it? Angus or Malcolm that wrote all?
Malcolm wrote most of the songs.
Would I say he's a better songwriter than Cobain? I don't know, because I think he's got more art, I guess is the way to put it. Cobain does. But Malcolm can write a friggin' catchy tune, right?
I will say this: Nirvana is definitely good for making really depressing songs.
Yeah, well, okay.
Well, and I don't know, because he was coming from a different point of view, right? The guy was on the dope and stuff. So
I'm not saying it's bad because it's depressing. I'm saying that I didn't care for it because it was depressing.
Yeah. With Nirvana, if you were to offer me and say you're going to a desert island and you can have John Lennon's complete catalog or you can have Nirvana's complete catalog, I would probably take Beatles or John in a heartbeat.
Me too.
Just because he's got more of a breadth of stuff. And I think I prefer some. I don't know, though.
I don't know, because I don't like In Utero at all. But I don't know. Bleach is a really good record. Nevermind's solid, dude. It's solid.
Nevermind if you get past the one.
Yeah, because they got overplayed, but I'm not mad about that. No. It has some rockin' shit on it, and the production.
You talking about the song that was about the girls' deodorant, Teen Spirit?
Oh.
Yeah, that song was overplayed.
That was overplayed. So,
because it's a solid record all the way through.
But just again, I mean, because they had 5 studio albums, and then Unplugged or whatever. But
something
if I
like that
over the entire Beatles and Lennon catalog, I mean,
and Beatles, let's say it's 64 to 80, right? He still had that's still a longer career.
I heard someone once say, and I agree with it, is Dave Grohl is the best guitar player that ever played for Nirvana. Although he never played the guitar for Nirvana, but he's an absolute. He's a great musician. I love Dave Grohl's stuff. I don't know. They're just, to me, I lump Nirvana in with like country music. It's mostly depressing stuff that It just sounds like every time a song comes out, he's whining about something, and that's kind of how I heard it. And it's like, I'm good. I don't need to listen to more.
That's art, though, brother. That's just hits people differently. I don't know. Some Nirvana songs come on and I'll just rock out, and some come on. And it also depends on the mood too. Like if I'm driving around and sometimes Nirvana comes on, it's like, yeah, I'm not good. I'm not into it right now. And I'll flip the station. And sometimes I'll bang my head and sing along. And
yeah, I think the only song of theirs that I won't turn off is the cover of the David Bowie song. So other than that, I know the songs. I know the words to all the songs because I hear it so damn much. But I'm just not interested.
We should do a Desert Island.
There you go.
Instead of disc, a Desert Island catalog. Jeez. What do you think about that? Like, is that too much?
I mean, it would make it easier than having to pick out specific songs or specific albums. You can just say, I want this person's catalog and this person's catalog and this person's catalog.
I don't know. Then, well, yeah, I mean, that makes it easier, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, not easier because then you're like,
you still have to pick 5 people.
Yeah. Do I value the Clash over I value, Bruce Springsteen?
Now, is this going to be
tough.
1 through 5 and the numbers count, or is this in no particular order?
Well, I always try to do it in 5 to 1, but but if you however you want to do it, I'm not gonna. I don't force it. Don't force it. All right, guys, Reefer Madness. Speaking of all this music, one of my favorite adopted cities, the city of NOLA, rats have infested the police department there.
NOLA?
And New Orleans, Louisiana. They've gotten into like the evidence room, and they've gone in and eaten like all the marijuana.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
And they've actually testified.
Sure they have. Sure they have. Yeah. The mice
and they
ate my homework.
Too.
Yeah. It was totally the rats. I had nothing to do with it, sir.
Oh my God! But the whole headquarters, the police department, they say that the rats have gotten high off the Mary Jane in the evidence room. They also have issues with tons of mold and cockroaches everywhere. Yeah. And cockroaches is a big thing down there anyway. It's not that big of a deal. I've been in restaurants and seen cooks chasing cockroaches around,
right? That's a problem. Because you lose a court case.
Yeah.
Right? It's like...
But can you imagine all these rats running around?
Oh my God!
It'd just be like Ratatouille. He's like, "Hey man, you got any donuts, man?"
A little rat like, "You want to get high?"
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And their parents are going to sue the police department for being the gateway drug provider.
Pretty soon they're into
rats are smart though, and I get it, right? But on the other hand, really,
it's just I think the thought is that the rats and the cockroaches and the mold are overrunning that facility in the city.
Yeah, and especially if that is an evidence room, that's bad. You can't have paper, and does that affect a gun that has fingerprints on it? Is all of a sudden that it's now inadmissible because blah blah blah?
It's like a shit on it or
what the fuck? I don't know. Yeah. How come? I don't know. Well, how come there's not enough tax money to pay for a decent?
I don't know, because they say the elevators don't work, the bathrooms don't work in the building. It's like, what the hell? But the police superintendent, Ann Kirkpatrick, my mom's maiden name, told the city council, testified in front of them, saying, we've got all these problems, and I can't imagine.
No.
But
is there actual proof that the rats have eaten all the weed?
I think that they testified that they've chewed into the boxes and have...
If it's just cardboard boxes or something?
Yeah, I don't know how they're...
And all they have to do is break the seal on a police box?
Yeah.
And I bet it gets thrown out.
Right. What do you do?
Yeah. The minute some unauthorized contaminant enters that evidence box, I bet your case is fucked.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Man.
I bet you there's a guy's like, all we got to do is take one rat and get him to eat through the bag.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean, and if it's weed cases, then I don't necessarily mind them getting thrown out. Like weapons cases are fucking bad.
No, I swear to God, there's somebody in New Orleans that has this huge huge room packed full of weed boxes and stuff. And he's like, I blamed it on the rats, man.
Blame it on the rats. I remember...
rats are no joke, though.
Years ago, all my buddies worked at the QFC on Queen Anne, and Hall and Bill were working one night, and an entire pallet of beer got dumped over. Right, so not such a bummer because the manager said, "You guys got to just chuck it all. Just chuck it. They've already got. They knew what was on the pallet. Just chuck it out. So they're fucking out there grabbing the good soldiers, right, the non-wounded ones, and came back with a truck full of cases of mixed mash. Just.
That's nice.
Beer.
Jeez.
And it was like...
It literally fell off the truck.
I
got a good deal on it.
Just nuts. But I think about that, too, because it's like, all right, Officer Jim and Officer Bill, go destroy this evidence.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
But that, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. We should drop all weed cases anyway.
I think it's stupid.
The vast majority of them, right?
Oh, my God.
Shouldn't sell to fucking 6-year-olds and stupid fucking predatory shit. But other than that, people getting their pockets, emptied by police.
Right.
Let them go.
Yeah. Stupid. Guys, The Fall Guy. Anybody excited to go see The Fall Guy?
I'm curious. I'm wondering if any of the original cast members from the show are going to make cameos.
Is what's his name still alive?
Lee Majors, as far as I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun to see him. And who was his sidekick? It wasn't Heather Locklear. It was
Thomas. Heather Thomas.
Heather Thomas. That's
Oh man.
Yeah. Well,
I had her poster on my wall.
Heck yeah. I had it in my mind. It has officially, the movie has officially set a Guinness Book of World Records record for most cannon rolls in a car. It was performed by stunt driver Logan Holliday, which is a great name for a stunt driver, while filming in Sydney, Australia. He rolled the car a whopping 8.5 times.
Which is the cannon roll? That's not the long ways.
It's where they have like a pneumatic thing underneath and it launches the car up in the air.
And he rolls in the air?
It launches it and causes it to spin.
Oh, while it's in the air.
Yeah.
8.5 times. Holy shit.
I mean, maybe I don't know if it's in the air, but I definitely know that the cannon thing is that it's a pneumatic thing that hits the ground and launches the car.
You up.
And whether it actually launches in the air
or if it just rolls
towards.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he got 8.5 times. The previous record was set for Casino Royale in 2006. And I had it on here. I think it was like 6.5 or something. 7.
I think the stunt people from Australia are fucking crazy.
Jeez,
Adam Curley was the guy at Casino Royale.
So he's not doing his own stunts in the film.
No.
Speaking of, I watched an interesting movie you guys should check out. It's called The Royal Hotel. It's got the gal she was in Game of Thrones and she was in a Marvel recently. Was she in Daredevil? What was she in?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was. You watched Game of Thrones, right, Mike?
Yeah,
she was one of the Sands, the Southern people. Anyway, the Canadian gals, young gals in their 20s, are touring across, just having a good time going across Australia, but they run out of money. So they go to a job service, and the only job that the service can get them is being bartenders and waiters, waitresses, whatever, way out in this weird, secluded mining town. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a complete horror movie, but when they get out there, the guys, because it's obviously a male-dominated area, right?
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, and the guy that played Lord of the Rings, Elrod, the main...
Hugo
Weaving.
Oh, yeah.
He's the bar owner, and he's a complete shitbag, right? He's a drunk shitbag that owes everybody money, and he's violent and all this stuff, and he lets stuff go, but these girls are subjected to just all this weird, creepy sexual harassment the whole time, and the way it plays out is really cool. So if you get a chance, it's called The Royal Hotel, and it's streaming for free. I think I watched it on Hulu last night. So it might be on Amazon. I don't know if it's a rental or whatever.
It's an Australian film also.
Yeah, but the two main characters, the blonde girl, the blonde lady is from Ozark, I think. That show with Justin Bateman on Netflix. And I can't remember the gal's name.
But she's the mom in Ozark?
No, she's the young girl that works for them.
Oh, sure. That kind of
younger gal. Yeah. Anyway, just thought of Australia. Thought about that. I watched that last night, and it was a decent
Australia.
As a father of a female,
Crikey.
I just worry about toxic masculinity and all that shit.
Just danger.
Because
humans can be pee-pee poo-poo.
They are pee-pee poo-poo. Guys, a guy in Taiwan, a university student, decided to try to cheat money, fraud money, amputated his legs, or had his legs amputated because he thought he was going to get an insurance drop of like $2.3 million or $1.3 million.
Still not worth it, bro. Are you nuts? He's nuts.
Right?
That's a crazy person.
So what he did was he put his feet into dry ice.
Fuck.
Until they got frostbite.
Oh, that's
and then he finally went to the hospital, but the hospital was like, one, nowhere in the area was it cold enough to get this level of frostbite.
Yeah.
2, both of your legs are frostbit at the exact same level.
Man.
And 3, the guy took out these insurance policies like recently.
My feet are worth $10 million. What a dingbat, dude.
So he's 23 years old. His last name, only identified name is Zhang. He plunged his feet into a bucket of dry ice for over 10 hours.
So that just hurt the whole time.
To get them so badly frostbit that he would need a double amputation.
That's awful.
He ended up getting like $7,200 from one of the insurance policies, which was quickly confiscated by the police, and he's been arrested for trying to commit fraud.
Wow.
So not only did he go through that pain.
Was this in the U.S.?
It was in Taiwan. In Taiwan.
In the U.S., that's a felony.
Yeah. I don't know what they do to you in Taiwan. Shit. I mean,
oh man, that's rough.
You hope you get a judge that's like, okay, you suffered 10 hours with your feet in dry ice.
And they're now missing.
And now you got no feet.
Oh man, no, that's a crazy.
And
I
no
feel
money.
bad for that guy. Because that's bad judgment. That's just, come on, dude. How old is this guy?
23 years old.
Well,
and going to university.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he didn't just fall off the turnip truck there, man. That's kind of, ouch.
My God.
Ouch, that hurt.
That hurts.
It hurts too. Yeah, it hurts me as well. I mean,
just
thinking about, and then going, I'm going to get so much money off of this. And not thinking it through that they were going to be able to figure out that you faked it,
I don't need those.
Or go for something small, like my pinky. You know what I mean? It's
I don't know how much is that
it got
worth?
stuck in the freezer while I stood there.
Now he's got 2 stumps for legs.
Oh, that's fucked up. The rest of his life's going to be that much more difficult, right?
If he thought he was having a rough time with no money now, imagine how much he's going to have with having all those medical bills. And never mind all the shit he's going to have to pay back because of trying to fraud.
Jeez, and he's going to have to live in a place that has, because I know what Taiwan's like for having ramps and such for chairs, access.
Yeah, he'll learn how to walk on the.
Yeah, is he really going to teach himself how to walk on twin artificial limbs? You know what I mean? It's
I've seen people
have funding
do it.
For that? Sure. No, I've seen. Yeah, there's a fucking man of a man that hangs out at Lucky Liquor, has 2 fake legs, right? Like from the knee down, and rides a fucking Harley.
Are you serious?
The dude's a man.
Are they the blade type things, or are they?
No. They just have. He wears boots.
There's a guy I follow on TikTok that has 2 false legs. He got him amputated, or I think he's a veteran who had an accident while in war and whatever. So he's got his legs were amputated above the knee, and so he has these prosthetics that makes him average height. I don't think he's 5'9", 5'10", but he can take those off and have little nubs to go on where his false legs go on, so he can make himself this tall.
Oh, so he can actually move on just the
stumps, yeah.
Oh, man. I just always felt like that. I don't know. I assume that I guess you get used to it, but it would hurt like hell because you're like...
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Putting all that pressure where it's never supposed to be.
Unless that's part of the reconstructive portion of surgery. I beats the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And
never want to find out.
No, but I mean, humans are capable of overcoming what would seem to me to be obstacles and just thriving, right? So I hope that people can when they can. So.
Man.
Yeah, fuck, I'm just tired all the time. All the fucking time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Imagine how much more tired you'd be if you had no legs.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Do you guys want to give out a little advice? Actually, found this one somewhere. I don't remember where, but thought it was an interesting one. My girlfriend has this quote unquote great idea for starting a new business. Unfortunately, it's a horrible idea, and she is going to waste time and money on it. Not a MLM thing, not an MLM or anything like that. She already has a good job that pays her well. Without going too much into detail, I really don't think the idea is going to be a profitable one. A lot of time spent with little return. We've been talking about marriage, but I feel like if we get married, our financials are going to take a nosedive, and I don't want to be tied to that. I really feel I'm right on this. Should I keep my foot down, or should I let her explore the business opportunity? I don't know what your business is.
I mean, it would I'm a little scared. It would be useful if we knew what
I thought he said, sister, well, I don't know. I kind of like this challenge because now it's just about him either worried so much that he can't support the woman who will be his wife.
Right.
He's so worried that it's a failure of either it's going to cost him too much or it's going to just drag out or something.
I think maybe he should try to explain to her or show her how it's not going to work. Like give her examples of why it won't work. That way she doesn't waste time on something that will end up not being...
Yeah, because you don't say in your thing that you have tangibles like proof, like Todd's mentioning. Like if you can do the research and say, look, maybe it's a coffee shop, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a clothing business. If you can show, hey, you want to open this here and, historically this type of business doesn't do like 1 in 5 make it or one in whatever make it. If you've got some empirical evidence like that you can share with her, then great. If you don't, then my only suggestion would be let her go do her thing and don't get married. At least not until she discovers if this is going to work or not, right?
Yeah.
Because if this is her dream...
Or just make a prenup.
If this is her dream,
you're
pooping on her dream.
Yeah, why not just let her have a vanity job?
Yeah.
Right, or whatever. She's already working hard at her job and making good money. Or I don't want to editorialize, but it says she has a good job, so she doesn't need the money. So let her explore this and just... If you're really worried about finances, then isolate your finances from the rest of the household, right? And just say that that's the deal.
Yeah.
Right? The other thing is this something she wants to do to make money? Because it could just be something she wants to do.
It sounds like she wants to. She says...
waste time and money.
Yeah. It's a horrible idea, and she's going to waste time and money on it. It's not a multi-level marketing.
Yeah, so it doesn't involve other people.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because if it was...
maybe it's a podcast. Nah. Run. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. Is it her time and her money that she's quote-unquote wasting then?
Yeah.
Because then that might not
It would be her time and her money. So, and they're not married yet.
So their finances aren't necessarily intertwined.
Don't get married right away. See if it actually becomes fruitful or not.
Give her a year or two. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well, because he's not saying that she's quitting her job to do this.
I think that's the insinuation.
She already has a good job that pays her well.
She already has a good job that pays her well without going.
Yeah, no, I
don't know.
I took it that she's just doing a side gig.
If it's a side gig, then let her do her side gig.
Yeah, I mean, if she's not jumping ship off her current job and going all in on this thing that is not guaranteed, then don't go there. But if it's a side gig, who cares?
Right.
I mean, and you can always say, look, I want to make sure, this works out. So can we postpone wedding until after we know this is successful?
Yeah.
And you won't have to spend so much time at a job plus this new project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And getting married in the middle of it.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. No, I don't know. That sounds reasonable. Yeah. Right? Because with the information we're giving, I think that all sounds perfectly reasonable. Right?
Yeah. I think so.
So what's nuts? Let's get it. So, do some weird Perry Mason shit where it's like, and then he started to slowly gaslight her by poisoning her tea.
Turning the lights down just a little bit each day.
I remember what word I was trying to think of. If it's like a passion project, let her do it. Because if it's a passion project, she's not thinking about making money. She's thinking about doing something that she's really into, and if it works out, she's gonna. At some point, she'll make money, but it's not going to be right away.
Yeah, and that now that she's in a stable place with a stable dude and a stable household and all that, she can afford to kind of do a passion project. Right?
Yeah,
right.
That seems fair enough, right?
Yeah. And I don't want to say this guy's being selfish necessarily, but you don't stifle your partner's dreams
by thinking you know better.
By thinking you know better. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it might be some kind of chick thing that he really can't understand.
That's true. Yeah.
It could.
It's the good.
And maybe
all-female Gordon Lightfoot tribute band.
Oh man,
I'd pay to see that.
No, I'm just saying, cause if it's a passion project and he's like pooing all over it, it's gonna sour their relationship. So you gotta give her a chance to realize either A, it's not gonna work, or B, you're wrong. And it's not a bad idea. It may not be your thing, but it's her thing. So you can give her an opportunity to see if it works or not.
Sure, and then you can just lord it over her for the next 30 years after you're married. Like, remember that dumb fucking thing that I let you do?
Oh man, don't be that toxic.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that toxic piece
humor.
of shit.
Oh my God,
that was acting, ladies. The type of acting you will get in
Hot
Rodders of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That kind of top-notch daytime enemy winning shit.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Send us if you got some advice that you need, send us what you need, and we'll try to tackle it, or just comment if you got some advice to give to this guy or any of the past ones.
Leave a comment down below if you have something, or you can send us a message to the website or the phone number.
Keep them calls coming.
Yeah, we love to hear from you. Crazy.
We haven't got any calls, people. You need to call us.
Damn you.
God.
Yeah.
Guys, ending on something positive. I found this awesome thing. Oh, you know what? I forgot a step. Do you guys have any? I shared the movie I watched last night, The Royal Hotel. Do you guys have any new shows or movies that you've seen? Podcasts that you listen to?
What did I watch?
New albums that came out?
No, I did pick up a record. I went and saw the Scoffs. We're a really fun local band. They played a Saturday night at Slim's, and they did Stiff Little Fingers covers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it's, Irish band. It was St. Patty's weekend. And then they did some Scoffs stuff. One of the songs was available on their brand new 7-inch, so I bought their brand new 7-inch.
Nice.
It was great. And it's some kind of fancy pants lathe cut vinyl, some fucking fancy pants shit. It was great. Yes.
Right on.
So that's something. Scoffs.
Nice. I watched the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97.
Oh, that's right. That came out
today or last night, and the animation seems weird. It's trying to mimic the original series, but it's not quite the same. It's noticeably different, but it's also very similar. And I don't know, maybe I need to watch a few more episodes before I make any judgments on like the storytelling and whatnot. But like I don't know. Like I said, it's familiar as far as it looks similar to the original series, but it's also different.
Nice.
And it's hard to put my hand on it. It's just, and I'm sitting there watching this, going, maybe this way he got fired. You know?
Because
it's trying to feel like the original series, but it's definitely not the same. You know?
Well, guys, real quick, not to interrupt, but we got our safe word coming up behind us right now.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, we do.
Somebody's yelling at the universe is trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Todd, do you need to go back and watch? Does the story pick up somewhere?
It picks up right after the final episode of the original series.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you start watching it, it gives you kind of a previously on X-Men.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, it doesn't really say that.
Only 30 years ago, but
yeah, I mean, they don't actually do that voiceover. I wish they would have, but they have like their recap from the series from 30 years ago.
Okay.
So you don't
have to watch. You can watch.
You don't have to, but it doesn't hurt to watch the original series, anyways. Just that way you can kind of see. That way you can notice the differences between the original series and the new one.
Yeah.
And I recently, in the last couple weeks, rewatched the original series.
How many seasons?
4, I think, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Like 20 episodes a season.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, half hour, like 25 minutes.
Half-hour episodes, you know, and then like season 2 or 3 is when they do like the Days of Future Past storyline, and they done the Dark Phoenix storyline, and they do a bunch of the more popular stories from the comics.
Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse is one of them too, because you see Apocalypse in there. In fact, when I was watching, I was like, man, he looks really familiar, and I'm sitting there thinking, kind of look like Darkseid.
Oh,
Kinda.
And I think Apocalypse was definitely like a, hey, that's a cool look.
It kind of is, yeah. Apocalypse is pretty cool too. Plus, Apocalypse has tubes and shit, right?
Oh yeah, he's really creepy too. Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know if they're tubes or cables or whatever like that.
Yeah, he had like things coming out of them. They're like little.
Darkseid's one of the classics. He's a Jack Kirby, so Kirby made blockhead blocks. You know.
Yeah.
What a guy.
But you know, it wouldn't hurt to watch the original series, but you don't have to.
okay. All right.
And actually, I think you might enjoy it more if you have some like idea of, because the character that people have been whining about for the revival series, he's only in like the first 4 episodes of this entire series, of the original series, and then later, like I think seasons 4 or 5 or later on, either way, he comes back because they thought he was dead, and all this other stuff happens. But yeah.
All right. I saw a preview today, guys, of a show that Esposito is in, and I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it's a new show. I think it's coming on Prime, and it looks like he's playing kind of an Equalizer meets Jack Reacher meets
yeah, I think I saw that trailer too.
And I'm like, what is this? And I thought it was going to be a movie coming up, but they said it's a new series starting out. What's his name?
I like that guy.
Giancarlo Esposito, yeah.
Yeah,
since Do the Right Thing, man. That kid's been doing it. And what's his Darth name? No, he's not a... He's Grand Moff.
Grand Moff.
Yes. It's pretty cool. Moff, yeah, he's cool.
Gideon,
yes, thank you.
I had to think for a second there.
Yeah, no, he's cool, but he gets the super cool Beskar armor.
The Beskar armor, and he has that really cool TIE fighter, too.
Yeah, that's right.
The one that has the wings, of the TIE wings fold flat.
Cool.
Oh, he was in the Electric Company.
What?
Was he really?
So IMDb says.
And he's cool. And
I just completely read that wrong.
What's the lawyer movie? Better Call Saul.
And Breaking Bad.
Because he's just kind of a smoldering bad guy. You know what I mean? He's not menacing in the same way. You know?
Yeah, and they throw him in stuff like The Boys. He didn't have a huge part in that. Is it called Parish? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
I think it's called Parish.
It should be the most recent thing on his IMDb.
Jeez, he's working a lot.
Parish, 6 episodes, follows a taxi driver whose life is turned upside down when he agrees to pick up a Zimbabwean gangster, mostly known for exploiting undocumented immigrants at the U.S. southern ports. And it just looks like, it looks like he finds like a whole bunch of women that are being trafficked and turns into like the Denzel Equalizer, right? And just kicks ass. And
he was just trying to be a hidden away taxi driver, anonymous taxi driver, and he got to wake his shit up.
So got a new show I'm going to have to check out when it comes out. So Parish.
Yeah, geez. I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like once you're, say mid-50s, I don't have a whole lot of tomorrows anyway. You know what I mean? So now's the worst time for me, for some bad person to have me come across them doing bad things.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, because it doesn't really matter what happens to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, ending on, I found this quote. Really liked. I found this like months ago. I think this actually fits our the future wife of the guy that was looking for advice. Maybe. This is from a person named Cale York, which I'm not familiar with, but they wrote, "When you don't allow people to walk all over you anymore, the narrative will change.
Yep.
You'll become the villain in their story because you won't be giving them what they have had no problem taking from you.
Can confirm.
But at least in your story, you'll be free."
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that.
I have experience with that. I had a friend who like called me his best friend, and I thought we were cool and whatnot. And when I called him out on a blatant lie, and he was like, "No, I never said that." And I said, "Oh, come on, dude, just fucking tell me." And he got mad at me for calling him out on the bullshit. And he's like, "You're an asshole." I was like, "Dude, you're the one that's been lying to me. I'm done letting you lie to me. I'm fucking serious. If you can't be honest with me, then we shouldn't be friends. You need to, And he was causing chaos and drama in my life because he thought it was funny. And he told a female friend of mine that I was interested in breaking her up with her current. I think at that point they were married. And I was like, I would never do that. What are you talking about? I'm not interested in someone who's already involved with somebody. I didn't think I would be even interested in being in a poly relationship, let alone like taking someone from somebody else. No. So that person has not been a friend for nearly a decade now.
And probably a good thing for it.
Yeah, I'm better off for it because I don't have that drama and that chaos anymore.
Yeah. Holy crap. All right, guys. Anything else? End this here. We're going to do our bonus round. We're going to do our top five. Top five this week is worst movie remakes of all time.
Oh, and I have some good ones, too.
And then we're also doing our take, which was Damsel, the Millie Bobby Brown, which we mentioned on the Netflix. So we'll give you a little Gen X 50-year-old nerd guy.
We're the obvious demographic for that film.
So go check those out on our Patreon or in the members only section of the website. Totally worth it. Lots of stuff on there. Go enjoy it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't believe we haven't talked about this, but Charles is wearing a magnificent shirt. That I bet if you call us on the telephone, on our telephone number, and ask us a cool question or just answer the question that we would have asked you, I bet I will buy you a T-shirt that looks just fucking like that.
Oh my gosh!
So call us on the telephone and be weird about it.
I would be grateful if people just like, we want one. That way, if we get enough people saying we want one, then we'll start selling them.
Oh, yeah. But you could get one that has like the number, 14 on it or something.
I mean,
we'll see.
I want to be number 2.
Would we get in trouble if we just start selling shirts like that for listeners that just has the number 12 on the back?
Well, I think the 12 is a thing. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if it was 12 with
disciple,
something.
I'm the Judas.
Or
I think silver shekels or whatever it is.
The fact that it's a baseball shirt shouldn't give us too much grief. But I'm thinking that it would have like or maybe we could put it in like a form when someone orders a shirt. We could say they want this number and whatnot. And maybe we can do that. I don't know.
Well, they better start paying attention to us on the specific Patreon page so we know. That's the key to the kingdom.
Maybe we can make a level that when they subscribe to the higher level, they can get one of those shirts.
Oh my God, that's going to be an important level.
That's a good level. That's the Archduke Ferdinand level. Archduke. Dookie. You could be number 2 if you're the Archdukey.
If you're Dookie, Yes. All right, guys. Check it out, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.